For many centuries, we had believed that the menstrual cycle and the cycle of the moon coincides and there are links between them in determining the health of the mother. As recent as 2021, it seems that the potential synchronity between the two continues to fascinate the scientific community. Menstruation is a cyclical process similar to that of the moon. From the waning to the crescent, many poets and philosophers over the centuries have drawn parallels between the two, suggesting that there might be few connections. The age-old parallels between them have led to some to an extent of referencing the period as moon cycles. So today, let's investigate and try to decode this mystery through science. The popular belief may be based on the similarity of the duration between these two cycles, where the moon takes 27 days, 7 hours and 43 minutes to complete one full revolution around the earth, and from the perspective of us here from the earth, it takes approximately 29.5 days for the complete waxing and waning, which is close to the length of the menstrual cycle, which is in the range of 25 to 30 days with a mean of 28 days. A study conducted by the Chinese Department of Gynecology at the Canton Traditional Chinese Medicine College did find some similarities between them, as the study was conducted on 800 odd female subjects over the age group of 16 to 25 for 4 lunar months in different seasons. They concluded that it was based on the concept of traditional Chinese medicine that human psychological and physiological rhythms display synergism with the other natural rhythms. They saw that a large proportion of menstruation occurred around the new moon phase, which led them to deduce that the ovulation period tends to coincide with the phases of the full moon. But since then, many researchers have concluded this to be a myth and have not been able to collectively suggest that women's cycle has to do anything with the cycles of the moon. Looking at all the data that we could see, we can definitely say that the period start date falls randomly throughout the month regardless of the lunar phase. But can we completely ignore this statement? This has found its reference in very ancient text. Many of our cultural references are also in the same line. But we need to understand this in a different way, as one study suggested that there might be more to the idea of synchrony than what we think. A small-scale study analyzed the menstrual pattern of 22 participants who had kept track of their period onset for up to 32 years, as they recorded 15 women within the age of 35 and younger and 17 over the age of 35. They could find that those whose menstrual cycle were longer than 27 days had intermittent synchrony with 2 of the moon cycle, the luminance cycle and the gravimetric cycle. A luminance cycle, which many might not know, is the moon's different light intensity as it positions concerning the sun changes and it passes through different phases from the new moon to the full moon. The gravimetric cycle refers to the cyclical differences of the moon's pull on the earth as it orbits around our planet. Since the moon's orbit is elliptical, sometimes it is more distant from the earth and sometimes it comes closer. So its cycle from the perigee when it is closest to the earth and apogee when it is farthest from the earth lasts 27.5 days depending upon where it is in the orbit. The moon exerts different gravitational pull on different parts of the earth. So while menstrual cycle intermittently synced with the moon cycles, the likelihood of synchrony faded as the participants got older. Overall, the researchers observed that the moon's light intensity cycle seemed to be the most influential lunar cycle in terms of its effect on the menses onset. They also think that in the ancient times, human reproductive behavior was synchronous with the moon, but that our modern lifestyle, especially our increased exposure to artificial light, has changed this relation. This hints at one thing. Women appear not to be in synchrony with the moon, but it might not be the end of the story, as we haven't seen what changes occur when the moon has some influence on this body. And we interestingly find a study on melatonin levels in blood fluctuations could hold some truth to this ancient practice. This research has shown that the levels of melatonin, the hormone which is key in regulating circadian rhythm, and the sleep cycles saw a peak just before the onset of menses and decline over a period of time. There is also some evidence that suggests that a full moon influences sleep, especially disrupting sleep duration and quality, as one suggested that participants slept less on a full moon night and their melatonin levels were also decreased. This is not a new topic for us, as we have covered this in our previous topics of sleep and circadian rhythm. Artificial light can disrupt sleep cycle and have a negative impact on sleep duration and quality. So this is the right time to subscribe, as you might miss a few interesting topics as we dig deeper in the future. So here too, we ask the same question. Could artificial lighting affect the female and that can influence their natural cycles? We are yet to find an answer, but many think that we still have an existing evidence that suggests artificial lights affect various aspects of circadian rhythm. Research into how it might interfere with menstrual cycles is lacking that exposure to artificial light has affected females, and as of now, the synchronity with lunar cycles over time is still big no. But what we know from circadian rhythm is that their period is strongly affected by light. This is across the species of animal, and the period becomes shorter or longer with increasing intensity of light. Obviously, this also applies to the monthly rhythms. Many researchers believe that learning more about the environmental factors that may influence menstrual cycles could come in handy under certain circumstances. But since a large group of researchers have been pointing towards the importance of circadian rhythm, and women who are having difficulties in getting pregnant could exclude all other medical reasons and might wish to consider a more natural life without too much of an artificial light at night. So turn off those unnecessary blue lights when you are on your bed. Get up early, sync your time following the natural sunlight. Thanks for sticking till the end. Do share your thoughts down below while you share this information with your tribe, and I will see you the next time.